On that day, we'd had like talks from like different people, one of them being like Hope Powell, who at the time was like the only, I think, well, she's like the first black woman that's like broken into the pro game in the women's side, and she had like tons of experience. That was like my hero basically at the time. So we heard like a talk from her, and we got to meet her, and then that day just like changed my life, and realised that any nonsense that I was doing in terms of career before that was not my calling, but this is my calling. Okay, cool. My name is Sian, and I'm currently the head of youth engagement. I started about 5 or 6 years ago now, I think. I started off as a volunteer, and then I went to I was like a regular sessional worker, and then I became like a paid sessional worker, and then we had like senior sessional workers back then. So then I did that, and then I came away for a bit, and then I'm in the role that I'm in now. My experience that I wanted to talk about was when I was a volunteer. It was kind of like my entry into Reaching Higher, but basically I had an interest in, I'm still football coaching now, but I had an interest in football coaching at the time. And I came along to watch another volunteer who was doing his UEFA B licence, and I came to watch his assessment. From that day, I then got invited to like a coach's day out that like Reaching Higher were like supporting, I suppose. It was like a trip to St George's Park, which is England's training centre for those that don't know. So I went to St George's Park for the day with like loads of different like coaches from like different walks of life. On that day, we'd had like talks from like different people, one of them being like Hope Powell, who at the time was like the only, I think, well, she's like the first black woman that's like broken into the pro game in the women's side, and she had like tons of experience. That was like my hero basically at the time. So we heard like a talk from her, and we got to meet her, and then that day just like changed my life, and realised that any nonsense that I was doing in terms of career before that was not my calling, but this is my calling. So yeah, that was like a amazing experience, basically changed my life. And then after that, I continued volunteering. I was allowed to assist in the under 14s boys at the time, then the same thing with the under 16s, and then as Reaching Higher grew, there was in a position to then like gift me with my level 1 and my level 2 coaching badge, which I've gone on to complete now, and I have that. So thanks, Reaching Higher.
Can you say a skill you've learned?
A skill?
Yeah.
Oh, apart from the obvious, like learning how to coach, basically, like within football, which I learned from loads of other places, but a big crux of that was at Reaching Higher, because I got my feet on the grass here. But even now in my management position, I think just the art of like what managing people really looks like, from like not even top down, but like from youth to adults, and just the difference between like really understanding people in different ages and different walks of life. I think like youth work will do that for you, management will do that for you, football coaching will do that for you. So I think I've done a 360 view of how to look after people.
Okay, we can say
Okay,
goodbye.
bye.
Lovely. I'm gonna get
One take.
One take. You're sick. I can't lie. You're sick.
One take.